Hey, what's up guys, it's Kerry from Phoenix and Bow, and welcome to my Sunday shave. Just headed out for a little bit of exercise. I'm going to do some movement training, so I'm looking to just turn 40, so movement training and looking after my cardiovascular system is about not growing massive muscles and being, a huge beast of a person, but I just want to stay strong and flexible, physically, mentally competent as I get older, and for me it's also about taking better care of myself physically, mentally. Part of my grooming practice fits within that, but also, being in the best condition I can be as I get older for myself, my wife, and my two children, my two daughters. So I'm a real advocate for getting outdoors, enjoying this beautiful landscape. So if we just look back here, you can't really see much of it, but these are the foothills of the Chiltern Hills in Hertfordshire, England, and they're gorgeous. So I'll be back soon. So I've now just gone around on my bike, and I've done a loop of a favourite trail of mine, and I've ended up down by a river in an area called Orton Head. And this is a space that I use to do something called natural movement, or specifically a system called MoveNat, which very briefly, MoveNat is a way of looking at the very sort of simple ways in which we evolved to move, really, as a species. So getting up off the ground, crawling as infants, walking, jumping, climbing, lifting, throwing, those sorts of things. There is a lot more to it in terms of progressions and how people make their way through the system. It's great fun. There's real kind of practicality and real world utility to the moves and the forms, and it's adaptive. It's a great system. So how does that translate for my movement practice? When I train, I've done all sorts of different types of training: gym, weights, free weights, calisthenics. A consistent in my life is my mountain biking, and I suppose the biggest consistent principle really in all of my training and movement practices so far, since really being a small child, have been my love of the outdoors. MoveNat really lends itself to that love of mine. Anyway, so I'm not going to really sort of waffle on about MoveNat. I just wanted to sort of share the area with you as to one of the spaces that I train in. So currently I'm just up on a fallen tree trunk. You might be able to hear the bird song around me. If I just pan this down, there's my bike in the background. And you can just see the environment around me. Autumn's coming. The leaves are turning in colour, and it's just a great place to be. So I like to use this trunk behind me as an obstacle that I move over, and in front of me is another fallen tree, which I'm just going to hop over onto. Hiya. So this takes me further up into the canopy slightly. The river behind me here. And up we go. So this is great for just doing kind of reps of foot hand crawl is the movement that I like to do. And then above me here is a great tree. If I just pan up there, that branch, that V just here, that is great for doing pull-ups. Bit crazy maybe, but I certainly feel alive when I'm doing this. I feel brilliant. So anyway, that's kind of a quick glimpse of one of the environments that I like to train in. Outdoors, moving naturally, moving outdoors. Come away from these sessions and I feel brilliant, really do. Feel connected. So anyway, I'm gonna have a short training session here, and I'm gonna head home for my shave. Right, I'm back home now. Back from my ride, back from my movement training, back from the outdoors, and feeling pretty awesome, to be honest. Haven't made my mind up what I'm going to shave with. This is all fairly spontaneous. I was chatting to a good friend yesterday, who's a video producer, and he said to me, look, you just need to kind of show snapshots of, you know, the rest of your life outside of Phoenix and Bowen, outside of this environment, outside of shaving, wet shaving, and so yeah, that's what this shave is about. That's what the Sunday shave is going to be about, I think. Certainly to start with. So we'll just see how we go. Anyway, I haven't made my mind up what I'm going to shave with, so bear with me. I'm just going to see what takes my fancy. Back in a minute. Right, here we are. Okay, so my shave is going to comprise of my very special 30mm synthetic brush, made by Mervyn Cadman. Beautiful brush, whips up an absolute storm of lather. So I'm after a special shave, it has to be this brush. Razor, single edge, ever ready. In the mood for a single edge shave this evening. Lovely razor. The soap is going to be this, which you won't have seen before. This is our up and coming vegan shaving soap. This is a very early prototype. It's the final formula, but we kind of got it to this point, which we're very happy with. But you know, as it's kind of pre-production, nothing's packaged. It's all fairly raw and rough. Hence why it's just been pressed into this little stainless steel bowl. I scented this batch with cedarwood and a bit of nutmeg, just because I fancied that, and it's really nice. So you'll get to see what this actually whips up like. So yeah, thought you might like to see that. And then afterwards, I'm going to treat Mrs. Burrows to a fine smelling husband. So some sandalwood, Tobbs, Taylor of Old Bond Street aftershave. And then a little bit of hair tonic, just because why not? Some Pashana hair lotion, which smells really nice. I've used this before in an earlier video. Really powdery, really kind of talky almost. Very strong sort of barbershop scent. Beautiful. You don't need very much of this, and as I don't have very much hair left, I certainly don't need very much. So anyway, right, on with the shave. Just whilst I'm getting my brush saturated, just a warning that the kids are around in the house this evening, so there might be some inadvertent yelling in the background. It is bath time here in the Burrows household. Bath time and bedtime for the nippers. So yeah, there might be some yelling, so I apologise beforehand. Right, so here's the vegan, fairly wet brush. I might actually get a bit more because it is very thirsty formula. Yeah, more water. And you'll see what I mean. It likes water. See? It's lovely, really silky, very shiny, very thick lather. That's just tons. I don't need that much, but I just thought I'd demo so you can see what it's like. Okay, I mean, you can see what I've got there. I'm going to paint it on to begin with. I don't normally do this, but because I've got so much, I don't want to really waste it. I've had a shower before this, and with my training regime, my movement training and my mountain biking, I've started to explore something called the Wim Hof, or the Wim Hof method. And Wim Hof is a Dutchman. He's very well known for his cold immersion techniques and breathing techniques and exercise kind of regime. He's known as the Iceman. And I won't go into any sort of massive amount of detail. Safe to say that part of his method is cold immersion. So that could be a cold shower, cold bath, an ice tub, a river, a lake, you know, any cold body of water or cold immersion. This is something which is used by you know, elite sportsmen and women for recovery of after, you know, particularly strenuous workouts or sessions or games, matches. But science has shown, this chap has been studied by scientists and doctors. There's lots of crossover and benefit when it comes to cold immersion. A mental stroke emotional benefit also around the control and the focus that it gives you, because if you can imagine hopping in a freezing cold shower or any sort of body of water for any period of time greater than 30 seconds or any period of time greater than what you're used to, that definitely takes a degree of control. You have to control your breath, you know, and you've got to control your mind as well. It's not a natural environment for us to be in. So I'm kind of playing with that, and I've been doing it a week, and it is pretty spectacular as to how you feel afterwards. It is electrifying, and it's brilliant. I'm actually now up to 6 minutes in a cold shower, which sounds like madness, but it's really interesting to observe how the body reacts, how the mind reacts, and once you have the breath under control, what you're actually capable of is pretty spectacular. I'm boring my wife to tears. I'm probably boring you to tears going on about it. But yeah, I'm up to 6 minutes, and it's not about being macho and how long can I stay in the cold water for. It's about dealing with the stress and the chaos within. You know, when you immerse yourself, you automatically want to get out of that water, and to stay there for a couple of minutes to stay there under control, with your breath under control, is a remarkable feat of mental focus and strength. And there's a lot of benefits that you can carry that over into in other aspects of life, I think. So yeah, enjoying that torturous aspect of my movement and training practice. Crazy, I know. I don't think it's crazy, I think it's great, if I'm being honest. So we're at Sunday now, and it's been a very busy week for Phoenix and Bo and in our household. Looking ahead to next week, we are, Sarah and I are going to be really busy making soap and finalising the scent strength for our vegan range, our up and coming vegan range. We've got 3 flavours, as I call them: lavandula, which is English lavender, sweet orange, and grapefruit. Wilderness, which is cedarwood, pine and juniper, and then mentha, which is peppermint, menthol and rosemary. So a nice cold fresh hit. And the other 2, you've got your citrus floral kind of area taken care of, and then wilderness is your classic sort of staple woodsy scent. So yeah, finalising those scent strengths, and then getting all of that off to our chemist for assessment. And we are going to have those soaps out in time, hopefully before. Just nick myself here. It's nothing, but it's a cheeky little weep at that. Yeah, the vegans will have out in time, if not before Christmas. Really excited about them. Smaller format, 2 ounces, stroke 60 grams. And look out for the packaging, it's going to be different. Very, very competitive price point that we want to bring to you. And just to make it more accessible really to the masses. So Sarah and I are going to be really busy doing all of that. working with the kids, working with work, the day job. I'm a shift worker elsewhere, so I have that to negotiate. My movement practice. Another Kerry is a qualified movement coach, and whilst it isn't a commercial enterprise, it's really for my own sort of investment, which is why I qualified as a movement coach in MoveNat, which I was talking about earlier. I benefit primarily, but then my children benefit from it, my family, my wife, my colleagues. And maybe one day I might take it and try and, you know, get it to work commercially. But really, it's just something that I love doing. So I hope you're okay. And Sarah and I would love to hear your thoughts or requests or recommendations on what you'd like to see us do. You know, if you've got any particular scent or type of product, let us know. Drop us an email, kerry@phoenixandbow.uk or sarah@phoenixandbow.uk. We'll pick that up, and if we can do it, we'll do it. But in terms of seasonal soaps for 2019, we've already got them slated for next year, up to autumn. So we have, if you've checked our schedule, we've got Luna, which is a soap that I've been wanting to do for ages. Haven't finalised it yet, just the name and the scent profile, and we've got an idea of the design. The scent profile is hard vacuum, moon dust, and meteor strikes, as you do. Wanted something just a little bit quirky, a little bit abstract, just to see, you know, what does the moon smell like? It must smell of something, because I think I might be wrong, but I think it has some form of atmosphere, however thin that might be. So I think if you could take off your helmet, if you're an astronaut, I think you'd smell something. And moon dust, it must smell of something, surely. You know, they've brought them back, so I'd imagine it smells of something. But anyhow, so Luna is the seasonal soap for next year, and Iceni is going to be our Valentine's soap. Now I do know what that smells like because I've locked down the fragrance already, and it's very much a kind of musk, resin, citrus. There's a sweetness to it from the resin. It's a sexy soap. It is a great fragrance that we've nailed down, which I'm really happy with. So Iceni is going to be our Valentine's soap. And then after that, not sure. So what would you like to see? Let us know. Give us your thoughts, ideas, and if we can do it, we'll get it done. No promises, but it'd be nice to hear your thoughts nonetheless. You know? Right, I'm feeling like a last final pass. That blade's a bit old. I need to get some new single edges. But I'm just going to have a kind of a third pass just to tidy up. It's not a bad shave actually, considering how rough that blade is. I seem to have suddenly run out of single edge blades, which is a pain. I had a 3.5 pass shave the other day with my Black Beauty double edge, brand new feather blade inside it, and it was a great shave. However, my beard was back, you know, the following day, towards the end of the day, and that just doesn't happen if I use a single edge. So there's definitely something there in terms of the thickness of the blade for a single edge blade. For me, it kind of keeps my beard in check for longer. Double edge, not so much. Flimsier, thinner blade. Sarah's also working on, she's also been spending time working on, and will be spending more time working on this week, certainly, a new release that we've got coming out soon, which isn't a soap. It's called we've called it utility oil. Now it's a product which you can use you'll be able to use as a pre-shave oil, and also if you are of the bearded persuasion, which I used to be a good few years back, you can use it as a beard conditioning oil. You can also use it as a shave oil. It will do all three, but personally my preference is as a pre-shave oil, or as a beard oil, or or a moustache oil. But get it into your beard, it's great. When we used to sell it in a previous life, so to speak, we used to be kind of a beard orientated company. So this was our beard oil then, and a good friend of mine, he had really bad psoriasis of the skin on his hands, and he used it on that, and he said it did wonders for his skin, and it does. The ingredients are hemp seed oil, refined, so you don't have that really strong smell of hemp, cannabis. You don't want to smell like a cannabis plant, so we refine ours. It's cold pressed, and it's just a lovely oil. And then golden jojoba oil, argan oil, and black sesame oil. It's great for the skin. So yeah, utility oil will be coming out sometime between now and Christmas. That's as specific as I can be. We've freed up more time for ourselves to focus on the business and where we want to take it next year, by employing soap makers. So two who come in and help us. I've trained them up, and that really frees Sarah and I to kind of focus on other areas, which is just a real blessing. However, they're not around next week, they're on holiday, so hence why Sarah and I are back into our little soap unit to be making more soap for you all. That blade, this blade is absolutely dead. Dead. So I'm not gonna let that touch my skin anymore. I'm happy with that. Great afternoon, great shave despite that rubbish blade. Still feel great. Right, okay. So I'm gonna clean my kit up like I always do. Always do this. Pull the remnants of the lather out. Rub it into my face. Okay, and I'm about to run out of video, so I will see you another time. And as always, thank you for watching, and shave right, feel brilliant.